Watch I make sure no one snatches my chain. Nigga, that's the real man. Sold in the mail and put it up in the mid pocket. So let me hit it and land it down. Give me a duck up, out, tag out. But ain't no bucket ride that read up. Hop on the 10 to the clip. Ready to get him up with him at thugs and to catch that gun. Man, I gotta get there. Player, holler, holler. Ain't clear, got much to offer. When I bet weed on 93. I'll up on the clock block for some dollars. So get a bag of dope and a quarter out. Oh, most all of my niggas got the same. And we gonna roll it all up the smoke. And then they reefer hydro. We know the cut, so fuck them popo. Toss out the giggle, then roll with a clone the same old. Running through the alley, get in the alley. How about the second the sundown? No front from January, no none of December. I'm loving the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Gotta grind, gotta get mine. In the hood that I claim and I slang on the double nine. Gotta find them dubs. Wanna get full, can a thug get love? What's up? Try to slang on my corner, nigga. You take on that St. Clair, niggas don't like that. And selling them dummies, making that money. Come back, nigga, get that pap. From the first to the 15th, nigga smoke plenty weed, but I gotta say, gotta come up. Put my rocks in the cup. When I get high, nigga, blaze that blood. Try to roll to the bag. Count on my profit and add it to the stash. Gotta watch my back seat for niggas that's trying to rob me. Fool, but never no shows and no losses. Don't be keeping these niggas up off me. See, can I sell the whole block? Spend a couple bills, thug. Smoke a lot of weed on the fur.
Wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up.
Waking up feeling buzz up early in the morning, stretching, I'm yawning, lightweight bitch, chugga like I take a fifth to the dawn. Last night I got geek with my truck, but it didn't look so I'm getting me hustle long. Hop on the phone, calling up crazy phone. Wanna know did your OG check come? She put me down. I'm home on the bus with Big, and I'm coming with blood like the blood of the skull. Nigga T just put me down. Oh God, how I love when it first come around. Now I'm freaking me black and mild, head across town. Cause nigga the first get celebrated. Rushing to the block cause I wanna get faded. Looking on wild cause I'm needing me hair braided. We heavy off into this game. Two to the first, just call me that pro slime. Them nickels and dimes and 20s and 50s. The first be the day for the dope man slanging that cocaine food. And I'm working late tonight. And all them things be loving them fools. Cause I got them rocks full. Them blocks come with the ends. I gotta get paid on first. Gotta blaze up my split. Getting live with it both those poetic hustlers in the graveyard shift on the first.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up.
Hello, everyone. Buenas noches. Good evening. Thank you all for joining the Dryland reading and open mic. My name is Ivan. I'm executive assistant at Dryland. But our host tonight will be Nikolai Garcia, assistant editor at Dryland. So please give him a warm welcome. He'll be your host tonight. And thank you all for being here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Future Now. You are at the very first Future Now. It's going to be an awesome, historic night. I want to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We have 3 awesome featured readers, followed by an open mic. But before we get started, I just want to introduce Viva Padilla to make a couple of introductory remarks. She is the founder of Dryland and Ponte las Pilas Press. Let's see what she has to say.
Hey guys, yeah, it's so great to see so many people here. This is amazing. I'm glad that we can, get together online and like meet and hang out. And this is just cool. I know it's been a long time since we've done anything. We didn't really have like a get together for issue 10, because of the pandemic and just, a lot of other reasons that, prevented us from doing it. But we were just like, all right, well, let's just do this. Let's get it together, because like we know so many people, we know so many amazing poets and writers, and we have so much support from the community, not just from LA, but from like San Francisco. I see some people in here from the Bay, you know, from Mexico, from Texas, New York. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, let's do this. Let's finally just like create this community. So I you know, I was thinking, you know, where do we want to be? What do we want to be, you know, in the future? Yes, I want to be in the future. So that's why we're calling it Future Now, because that's what we want to bring forth. We want to get into thinking about how to build for the future and start building it now. So that's kind of like my idea behind it, and what I hope that we all kind of like agree on. So yeah, I'm just happy that, you know, we have so many people here, so much support. And we have a raffle going on. So if anybody wants to win a copy of issue 10, just send me your name, message me your name in like the DMs, and then we're gonna have like a little, we'll make the announcement at the end for the winner. So yeah, I don't want to say too much, because yeah, I'm gonna just let Nick go on and like introduce everybody and pretty much carry the night. And I'm just happy that like there's so much support and we're all here together. Hopefully by May we'll all be able to like hang out in real life and virtually. We'll do a hybrid thing hopefully. So yeah, this is a good start, and I feel really good about it. So thank you so much, and I really hope you enjoy your night. So, and I hope you have drinks ready. I have mine. So cheers to whoever is got something. Yeah, cheers. Okay, pues empezamos, Nikolai.
Okay. So just want to remind everybody that everybody who's reading tonight is actually from issue 10. If you don't have this issue yet, you should definitely get it. If you want to enter the raffle, send Viva a direct message. And let me just go ahead and welcome our first reader. I'm going to say just a couple things about her. Alexandra Martinez is a baker and poet living in the tumbleweeds of Southern California. Super short, sweet bio. I just want to add, I first heard about Alexandra maybe around 2018. She had a poem published in Cosmonaut Avenue, and it just blew me away. Somebody, if it was in my timeline on Twitter, I don't know who posted it, maybe Ingrid, I don't remember, but I befriended her on Twitter, and then I somehow tricked her into submitting some awesome work to Dryland. And so here we are today. Take it away, Alexandra.
Okay, can everybody hear me before I start? Okay, good, thank you. Thanks, Nikolai, for saying those very kind words. Hearing you say 2018 was kind of weird. That's a long time ago these days. Anyway, thank you, Eva, Aruni, for your words. It's really cool that I get to share this with you guys. And thank you, Viva, Ivan, and Nikolai for setting the whole thing up. So my first two poems that I'm going to read are actually in issue 10 of Dryland, which you should get a copy of if you don't win it in the raffle, and if you don't have one yet. And the first poem is called Ocean. In Puerto Rico, there's a beach that's surrounded by a rock wall. If you look at videos online, you'll see there was a time where the ocean could crash over the rock wall and water would come in and fill into a half-moon beach below. But when I was there, climate change had done away with that. It was still possible to climb atop the black volcanic rock. So I did that. And all I could see was miles and miles of waves. It felt colder up there. and the wind was so strong that it was hard to stand up straight. I made my way up higher, sharp, jagged rocks, and watched a young boy stare out at the sea. I could hear Ocean by the Velvet Underground playing in my head, and felt that kind of rush you feel when you're exhilarated to be alive, but also astounded at the easy opportunity to just end it all. My next poem, also in Dryland, is called Somewhere. Outside the library, all the jobless are walking around, staying out of the shade, out of the embrace of the Santa Ana winds. It's 2 o'clock, and the clock tower plays Somewhere from West Side Story. There's the couple I always see. The man shuffles in front of the woman as she pushes their home along. They don't notice all the painted ladies swarming around and how they flutter slowly like falling confetti inside the Staples Center, slowly like a migration. The couple does a loop around the park and starts another one. Peace and quiet and open air. Butterflies know nothing of walls and fences and borders. I wish for the couple the luck of butterflies, somehow, someday, somewhere. Thank you. This next poem I actually wrote last year, which is saying a lot because I don't think I wrote much last year at all. And it's called Peace Pilgrim, and I wrote it for Rebecca Solnit, who's a writer y'all should check out if you haven't read any of her work. She's not a poet, but her writing is very poetic. So this is Peace Pilgrim. For centuries, people have been doing the long walk, the pilgrimage, even when they didn't know they were. Their feet, their souls, their bodies all said, this is right now a pilgrimage. This is right now a rite of passage. This is right now freedom. The peace pilgrim knew this feeling. She would walk for hours in peaceful contemplation. She carried nothing and wanted nothing, but received plenty. For many, pilgrimage is a God that promises health and wealth. The pilgrims I know are red dirt and a lowrider spray painted in God's name. They are asking to be free of diabetes and back pain and things so simple that if I were a God, I'd hand to them from atop my 2-foot throne and say nothing, but see you again next year. The one time I felt like a pilgrim, I stood outside a cathedral entrance in Mexico. I crossed myself before getting down on my knees and joined the procession of people shuffling their bodies forward on the worn marble floor. The pain was immediate. The distance was long. I tried to focus on what I wanted, but did not know what it was. I was young and could afford to learn more about pain. We have all been dragging our knees across the broken sidewalks of this place, collecting dirt, dust, and little pebbles in the craters of our knees. When we reach our destination, we will cool ourselves in the shade, point back at the trail we have made, and say, is that enough? Thank you. This next poem is called Fuck the Clock. Oh my God, fuck time zones and fuck what hour or day it is. The question should always be, is the sun or moon up where you are? The answer will always be yes. An addendum, fuck the clock. Patti Smith wore it first. Look it up. On Instagram, she's always posting pictures of her handwriting or coffee or the moon, and honestly, same. I am trying to find meaning after watching a video of air being moved around. That's putting it lightly, of fire, of an explosion. I am trying to find meaning after waking up at the dark pre-sunrise hour and looking into the horizon and seeing another fire burning here. The fire there is unlike the fire here, but they are both the same in that they remind me of chaos theory, or more specifically, the butterfly effect. Homero Gomez Gonzalez, patron saint of butterflies, was murdered this year. This year that has murdered so many in a different time zone than mine. In my time zone, people create native plant gardens for butterflies to call home, or suburban lawns for no one. Thank you. While you were asleep, me and your dad sang all of American Pie. Him in the front seat, me in the back. And it made me want to cry because I wanted him to know how much I wanted to be what he wanted me to be. But all he says is, "Bye-bye, Miss American Pie." I wanted to tell him about the girl with skin browner than me and how we drive around in her little blue scoot scoot with this exact song playing loud and all the windows down to let winter remind us that we were still walking along the edge of a levee of the mind. But all he said was, "Bye-bye, Miss American Pie." And I am trying to explain to him that there were plenty of us girls raised on tortillas y los virus, and that we love this goddamn country eternally. We love the frost on the pines, and we love the desert needles, and we'd seen so much more of America than he would ever see. That we've been on all the highways and ran out of cars screaming like banshees, and how much we love these stars. But I can't say any of this. So instead, I bake him the goddamn best American pie. He eats it all and still says, "Bye-bye." That poem was called America. Thank you. This is my last poem. It's called Yesenia Zamudio. Yesenia Zamudio is a woman, a Mexican woman, whose daughter was found murdered in, I think, 2016 at this point. And she's a victim of the femicide that has been ravaging Mexico for decades now. And yeah, so I wrote this poem for her. You like to tell me who I am when you don't even like the sound of your own voice. But the thing to remember is that I am the hand that gently douses the back of a cop's neck with gasoline. I am the fingers that strike the match that sets him ablaze. And as he's rolling around in his own melt, I am still moving like a wildfire. This is when I become the spit that comes out of Yesenia Zamudio's mouth when she says, "Yo no soy una colectiva, ni necesito un tambor, ni necesito un pinche partido político que me represente. Yo me represento sola y sin micrófono." Her words are an incantation, and I become a tumbleweed thousands of miles away, non-native and invasive, rejecting any existence seen as useful to you or anyone. Yo me represento sola. Thank you. So yeah, make sure to pick up a copy if you don't win the raffle tonight. And this beautiful artwork by Patrick Martinez. And the link to donate to, I think it's in the bio or something, but it's drylandla.org/donate. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. That was great. That was great. We're going to put up a couple of links in the chat. Ivan's going to put up a couple of links so you can follow Alexandra, read some of her past poems, and donate also to some of the work that she does with the community fridges over in her area. Quick reminder, if you want to participate in the raffle, just send a private message with your name to Viva Padilla. Okay, now we're gonna move on to Aruni. Um, Aruni Wijesinghe is a project manager, ESL teacher, erstwhile belly dancer, instructor, and occasional chef. She has been published in anthologies and journals, both nationally and internationally, and has collections forthcoming with Moontide Press and Silver Star Laboratory. She lives a quiet life in Orange County with Jeff, Jack, and Josie. Take it away, Aruni.
Thanks, Ivan. Thank you, Viva, Nikolai, and Ivan. I'm honored to be here. I was so excited to get published in Dryland. It was like a huge goal unlocked for me last year. So thank you. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for hearing me. So I have a handful of poems. First, I'd like to start with the poem that was published in Dryland. It came out of a pact I made with a friend. We both promised each other to write poems about Judy Blume, the children's author. So this is my offering. If Judy Blume was my aunt, her name would be my middle name instead of a Sanskrit word for a flower that doesn't grow in New York City. At family parties, I would sit with her while she'd sneak Virginia Slims. We'd skip the rice and curry, steal away to McDonald's for burgers and Cokes. I'd finally have the life I checked out of the school library, the simplicity of meatloaf dinners and Sean Cassidy records. She'd give me a soft focus adolescence and the reassurance that I would eventually bud, my body flowering on its own mysterious schedule. She'd gift me a diary, tell me to start with lists of boys' names, streets, colors. Andrew Mallon, the two Aldo Leones, Revere Place, Howard Avenue, Lester Drive, Dogwood Pink. These lists would become my answers. So I was so excited once I got this published. I decided it would be a cornerstone in my upcoming collection. So I'll read a couple of things from that later on. I had a book come out, my first book, Baby, I co-authored with some friends. It's called The Undulating Line. It explores the connection between belly dance and poetry. So it's some essays, some prompts, and some poems. So this is an erasure poem I erased from the preface to 1001 Arabian Nights, which focuses on the relationship between Scheherazade and the Sultan. But really what saves her life is her relationship with her sister. So this poem to me is about how sisterhood saves our lives. Her tale begins, "Sister, I want your help as a last favor, your company the last night I am alive. Wake me before the dawn and speak, I beg you. One of your charming stories shall deliver the people." The hour arrived. Bade her raise her veil, her eyes full. "A sister tenderly grant me, before the sun rises, one of your charming stories. Pleasure of hearing you. Answer, sister." "As my sister asks," said she. So Scheherazade began. I'm working on a chapbook with Moontide Press. It's all erasure poetry, all erased from Love in the Time of Cholera, which to me, if I had a Bible, that would be it, because I think so much about the human existence is in the pages of this book. So this is the first poem I erased from Love in the Time of Cholera, and it's the title poem of the collection, An Epidemic of Cholera. Victims struck down, responsible for our history. The eminent dead, exclusive, the less wealthy buried, the poor colonial, separated from the city. No room left in the churches. Many nameless civic heroes grew thin. Doors did not open again. The orchard a cemetery, graves deep enough to bury God. And the irony that I'm erasing a book about an epidemic in the middle of an epidemic didn't occur to me until I was already in it. So it just struck me how we've all been colonized during this last year. And I think it's a good thing that more people understand about colonization, even if it comes in this way. I wrote a poem in response to a prompt, and the prompt was make up for a mistake you made in the past. And it got traction late last year, and it was published right around the time of the inauguration and dedicated to Madam Vice President, who is South Asian. And to see someone who looks like me rise to a seat of power is something I never thought I'd live to see. But I didn't write it for her. I wrote it as an apology to myself. Cardamom vowels. Your name is not an apology, the sound kowtowing to ears accustomed to Jennifer's and Debbie's. You are a namesake for a temple rising in the Chao Phraya River, face to the morning sun. Your name is mantra, meant for repetition. Your name is not a question, voice rising at the end. Unlearn the habit of asking. Hold the magic of Sanskrit in your throat. Orient yourself with definitions. Red dawns, lotus offerings, the padding steps of lion's feet in forests of rare trees, groves that tremble incantation. Your name is not a punchline. You are not obliged to accept awkward nicknames and laugh, not required to contort your tongue into a foreign shape. Don't grow towards mispronunciation, dividing yourself into two people. Remove ill-fitting shoes that chafe along the seams. Roam barefoot in the halls of your name. Unlearn a lifetime of answering to not your name. Make them taste your name, their unknowing tongues prickling with tamarind. Shape their mouths around cardamom vowels, your syllables turmeric. Teach them to whisper spice, intone fire. And I want to thank you, Viva and Nikolai, for asking me how to pronounce my name. I've lived a lifetime where nobody bothered to ask. And it's taken me 50 years to stand up and correct people. So thank you. Thank you. It's been a year. And if you're a person of color, it's been an especially illuminating year. Cold comfort food. I scour the internet, looking for recipe closest to ummi's, then grab my car keys for a trip to Walmart. I push my cart with a wobbly wheel up and down the aisles, searching for names. Kraft, Chicken of the Sea, Vegol, and Ritz. I collect ingredients while the calendar pages flutter. At home in the kitchen, I read the blue and orange box, feel the weight of prepare as directed. Open cans, toss the jagged lids carelessly in the bin. Measure milk, cut butter into neat pats, flake tuna into pink splinters. Swirl together in a heavy-bottomed pot, then spill into a greased Pyrex dish. Sand the top with cracker crumbs. I stare in the little oven window and wait. Today, the whole house smells like 1974. I serve a portion, always an edge piece where the noodles are brownest, and every forkful fills me with a Formica-countered childhood. I swallow innocence. I swallow ignorance of how my mother prepared us meals like tuna casserole and hamburger helper instead of paripu and kukul musk curry. I swallow years of my family feeding ourselves on America, the country that decades later spits us out, desperate to rinse the taste of immigrants from its snarling mouth. The next day, I pull the dish from the refrigerator, peel back the foil. I stand barefoot on the tile floor, eat directly from the pan, not bothering to heat leftovers. Every bite sticks in my throat, congealed. I choke each mouthful down. I can't bring myself to waste memory. Little known fact, I love tuna casserole, and I make a pan and have 2 bites and think, why did I want to eat this? But I know why I want to eat it, because I want to turn back time. This is my last poem, and this is a love story to the first 10 years my family was in the US, which is what my full-length collection will be about. And it'll be titled To Revere Place, which was our first house in New York. The things left. You think that you left things behind, forgotten in the coat closet at To Revere Place, tucked in the back behind the winter coats and ice skates, or left behind in the garage, leaning against the wall closest to Ummi's orange AMC Hornet, the one with the AM radio only, songs that drifted out the speakers, songs from Grease soundtrack, hopelessly devoted to you, and you're the one that I want. Acting out scenes from the movie, the neighborhood kids taking turns at Danny and Sandy and Rizzo. Or those other songs left in the cabinet of the big black console stereo crouching in the basement. Echoes of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, electric sliding up the stairs and into the kitchen where Thothy is blowing up more balloons that he rubs against his curly hair to generate the static that sticks them to the wall. And on Monday morning, there will still be crepe paper streamers left, scotch taped to the wood paneling, still crumpled wrapping paper left on the floor, exposed gifts of Monopoly and Connect Four piled on a folding table, and leftover birthday cake sweating sugar onto a Pyrex dish in the kitchen fridge. The pink roses bleeding into the white frosting, ballerina candles blown out, tilting arabesques next to your icing name, left, waiting for you to eat, like you eat the dogwood trees, pink and red in the front yard of To Revere Place, eat the tough-skinned jeans, stiff and impossibly indigo, eat the purple banana seat bike whizzing down Howard Avenue, eat the 17-year cicadas and the baseball cards and the last half ounce of Ummi's bluegrass eau de toilette. You've eaten all these things because we grew up in a home where nothing ever goes to waste, nothing left on the plate. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aruni. Can't wait till your books come out. And hopefully when they do, we can actually go to like live readings and have like book parties and stuff. Before I move on to our last featured reader, I just want to mention a couple of things. We're posting a lot of links on the chat about our features. And if you can't catch them all, don't worry. I think there's a option there to save the chat so you can go to those later. We hope you do. We hope you guys follow all our featured readers and keep in contact with them and see what they're up to. The other thing I want to mention real quick, there's a bunch of you in here. I love it. But there's also a bunch of you with your cameras off. I don't want to pressure you too much, but this is our very first feature now, and we kind of want to see your beautiful faces. So if you don't mind, you know, I know some of you probably can't for various reasons, but if you don't mind, turn on your cameras at least just for a bit. We definitely want to see you guys. Okay. Let me move on now. Before I read her bio, I just want to say that me and Viva were very excited to publish Eva. You know, for those of you that don't know, which you probably should, because we always mention this. Me and Viva, we're both from South Central Los Angeles, and so is Eva. So we were like super excited. You know, every time we find a great writer who submits to us from South Central, we get super excited. and it was a joy to publish her piece in the last issue of Dryland. Let me go ahead and read her bio. Eva Recinos is an LA-based arts and culture journalist and creative nonfiction writer, focusing on stories that often get left out of mainstream media. Her profiles, features, and reviews have appeared in the Los Angeles Times, Good, The Guardian, KCET Artbound, Art21, Vice, Bitch, Jezebel, and more. She was a 2019 finalist in the LA Press Club Awards for Arts and Entertainment Feature online. Please welcome Eva. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Viva, Nikolai, Ivan, Alexandra, Aruni. Honestly, as Aruni said, it has been a year. For me, it has been a week. It was taking so long to get to Thursday, and then I thought it was Friday today. What a struggle. So I really, but sincerely, all jokes aside, this has been a bright spot in my week, and I'm so grateful to you guys for publishing this piece and for having this, because these are the things that keep me going, and I know these are the things that keep a lot of people going, and we need that break and we need that reset. So I'm really, really grateful to the team. So I'm going to read the essay that was in this past issue of Dryland. Just a heads up that it does have some curse words and small instances of violence. It's called "The Streets Are Made of Anger." There's no bench at the bus stop. Most days, my mom and I perch on a small edge of concrete landscaping that juts out from under the fence of the house behind us. We hold our bags on our laps, crane our necks to see if the bus is nearby. On weekends, we ride it to run errands, to the mall or church or the cemetery to drop off flowers for my dad. Some evenings when I'm already home, my mom calls our landline to ask me to meet her at the same stop to help her carry the groceries home. It's one of those evenings when my cousin drags me out of the house. We pass the barking dogs next door, duck our heads under the heavy bougainvillea drooping over the neighbor's gate. We avoid the large cracks in the sidewalk, the fallen palm tree husks. He hardly talks. An ice cream truck passes by, which I recognize because of its refrain, a cheery hello in between classic childhood songs. The neighborhood feels calm and at ease. I know its duality by now, a familiar face that can turn dark. I learned these things young. In my elementary school, the kids start passing around important bits of information, like how a pair of shoes hanging from an electrical cable means someone was killed on that block. Clothing is important too. You need to avoid wearing red or blue, the hues of the warring gangs. The same goes for bandanas in those colors. We file these coded symbols away, a language we learned to speak early on. Our minds become repositories for basic math and for avoiding violence. We exchange info, then go back to playing tetherball. That evening, my cousin and I wait at the corner diagonal from the stop, looking for the orange of the bus approaching. I stand there oozing grief for my dad and for the more innocent time when the fear of losing people I love didn't even cross my mind. I long to get back to my room where I can journal and play guitar badly. Almost no one walks on our block unless they live here, and you definitely don't walk around after dark unless you're fearless. We feel safer inside the house, even while we can hear the cacophony of sirens, helicopter blades yelling, and distant pops around us. A group of people, mostly women, gather on the corner directly across from us near the car wash. They're loud and energetic, seemingly excited about something. We don't pay them much attention at first. In our neighborhood, people often congregate outside their houses. They work on their trucks, water their lawns, sip on beers, and let the empty ones clink down to the sidewalk. But the group across the street gets louder, harder to ignore. 2 or 3 people break off from the pack and walk in our direction. As they move slowly past us, one of them lets out a stream of spit that lands on the sidewalk near my feet, so close that I know it's not an accident. It's a challenge. When I see her in my peripheral vision, the girl is not much taller than me, but she stands out because she's so much younger than the rest of the group, much closer to my age. Neither of us looks old enough to buy cigarettes, but we're wizened enough to know the implications of this interaction. I keep my gaze steady, looking forward. Maybe we exchange words, but my memory falters here. On the broken sidewalks of my neighborhood, two girls can fight on any corner, especially when the anger of their respective lives threatens to boil over. I'm furious at the swift truth that sometimes people die without warning. Angry that I can't mend my mother's broken heart. Resentful that our neighborhood holds such beauty, but also so much danger. A certain anger seems to pulsate from the girl too. We are two magnets with the same poles, bristling against each other. At this age, I wear my anger like regalia. Black clothing, black nails, chunky boots, thick wristlets with spikes on them, a chain wallet in one of my pant pockets. I crown myself as someone who knows the truth now, that life can be cruel. I model my look after the alt-rock and punk bands I play on repeat. I leave behind my love for Jordans and thick shoelaces tied around my hair for something darker. She tugs on the chain of my wallet. I realize she's poking fun at my effort to look tough. I turn to her and hiss. Ooh, the girl says, circling me. She hisses. Suddenly, her arm hits the side of my neck. She keeps walking as if she didn't even hit me in the first place. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the bus has arrived. My mom crosses the street just as the girl gets closer to me. She tries to mediate the situation, to create some space between the two of us. The other women the girl crossed over with stand in the background and watch. My mom speaks to the girl, tries to calm her down. Shut up, you pussy-ass bitch, the girl says to her. Everything boils over. My mom and I are hardly talking at this point. My dad's death caused a rift between us, but a line has been crossed. I know she's tired from work and weary from carrying her grief. I'm angry too, and I hate that I have to steel myself against this interaction when I really just want to be home, in my room with my grief, and no one to bother me. Don't call my mom a bitch, I scream. I lunge at the girl, but my mom and cousin hold me back. I will myself forward, trying to wrench myself away from them and hurl myself towards her. Looking back, I can't remember if someone held the girl back too. I can't remember how we end up walking away, but we do. When we get home, my mom turns all 3 locks on our 2 front doors, an automatic movement I've also been taught to complete each evening. My body eventually stops shaking, and I retreat to my room, the adrenaline slowly leaving as I sit against the headboard of my canopy bed, the one with white frilly sheets in a unicorn print. I feel older now, out of place. Around this time, I dream that a man on the street threatens me in some way, just around the corner from our house. He tries to hurt my mom or family. I don't see the events unfold, but I know this in the strange way you hold knowledge in your dreams without explanation. I manage to get the upper hand in a struggle with him, and I grab him by the hair. It's just long enough for me to wrap my fingers around it and get a really good grip. He's lying on the sidewalk suddenly, unable to get up. I slam his head repeatedly into the sidewalk. He tried to hurt me. He tried to hurt my family. He can't get away with it. When I wake up from this dream, this unbridled violence scares me. Would that spark actually turn into a flame in a moment of danger? Am I just looking for an excuse to let out something darker? I wonder how I got him on the ground, why I couldn't stop bashing his head into the concrete. That evening at the bus stop, my mom and cousin kept me from releasing this rage into violence. This girl was right in front of me, and I was practically begging her to give me reprieve from the loud thoughts in my head. Part of me lusting for our fists to sort it all out. I wonder what went through her head, what she wanted, what she needed. I wonder if they groomed her precisely for this moment, a rite of passage, an initiation. I could have been on the corner with that group too, the same neighborhood, just a short walk away from her, but worlds away. I wonder who she's lost, who hurt her, who promised her protection and affection and gave it to her in all the wrong ways. I want to know if when she crossed back to the other side of the block and rejoined the group on the corner, they congratulated her and she felt accomplished, proud. We were so close in age. She couldn't have lived that far from me. We could have been friends, sat next to each other in class, chatting over the soundtrack of our nearby crushes, rapping their knuckles rhythmically against the tops of their desks. We could have shared all the ways the city and the people in our lives broke our heart, how we loved our neighborhood, but not the men who leered at us, how we soaked in the sun on weekends, but were only allowed to ride our bikes to the end of the block and back. How we marveled at kids from other parts of the city, the multiple parks and grocery stores walking distance from their homes, the undisturbed silence in their neighborhoods at night, their swimming pools and multiple bathrooms, the way they only worried about homework and chores, never about violence. The headlines and thinly veiled comments from people outside of our block would paint us as two girls in a rough part of town. No manners, no guidance, no real future, no chance of making it out. People only pass through this part of the city. Reporters get back in their news vans, and we stay behind. As I got older, I started dreaming of leaving my neighborhood, of buying my mom a bigger house in a quieter area of the city. But my heart also broke a little at the thought. This was the only home I knew. I entered its threshold as a newborn and slammed its doors as a preteen. The room still had imprints of my father's presence. I couldn't imagine leaving it all behind. It's not uncommon to hear the refrain in songs or in movies about leaving your neighborhood and never turning back. But there's also the yearning to make it something better, to not leave it behind. We grow up underneath the palm trees. Some of us left to our own devices, others warned against the dangers in the streets. We learn to both love and fear these streets made of anger. Doused in sunshine, they look almost serene, keepers of our secrets, witnesses to our small deaths. Thank you so much. And again, I just really want to give a shout out to the Dryland team for everything that they've done. And like Aruni said, for really making me feel seen and for accepting this piece. And definitely get a copy of the latest issue or any of the issues for that matter. And donate if you can, follow on social, and yeah, just generally show your support for this really amazing team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you. That was South Central, y'all. So yeah, just to reiterate, if you guys love what you heard, get the latest issue. Right now, we're gonna take a short little break to make some announcements, and we're gonna jump into the open mic. We still got like a whole hour or so. I might be able to get to everybody who signed up. It kind of seems like it right now. But a couple of things first, a couple of announcements. First, this is going to be my last reminder. If you guys want to enter the raffle for a copy of issue 10, send a direct message to Viva Padilla, okay? And then, very importantly, you only have about 19 more days to submit your work to Dryland, okay? Somebody please put up the link to for our submissions page. Yeah, send us your work by April 20th. Don't wait until the last minute because then you'll be waiting a while for a response. Try to send it right now, as soon as possible. We've already accepted a bunch of really awesome work. It's going to be an awesome issue. I think Viva just wanted to say a couple of things about the next installment of Future Now.
Yeah, I can say a couple things. Yeah, well, if you guys like the open mic tonight and you guys feel like you're down to read your work and you're just watching today, I encourage you to sign up for the next one or the next one or the next one or the next one. We're trying to keep this up for the rest of the year. So if you're not ready next month, you can read in June or July, whatever you want. So yeah, and yeah, just to kind of thank everybody again for coming out tonight and spending time with us. We hope that we can do this in real life eventually. And yeah, just submit your work to us. We're looking forward to putting out issue 11. We're also putting out Hombre Lobo, which is our scary, spooky stories collection. So if you guys are also down for that, that's gonna be on sale soon. So yeah, just support the readers, support the writers, support us. As you know, we don't have any institution backing us. This is all independent and grassroots. So thank you so much for coming out. Now we're gonna do the open mic part. And I believe we have about 23 people who signed up, and we hope to get through the whole list if possible. And at the end of the night, I'm going to announce a winner of the raffle. So thank you guys and enjoy the open mic.
Okay, just a couple of ground rules before I get started. Well, actually, before I get started, let me just, I'm not sure if everybody who signed up is here, but let me just tell you the first couple of names on here. Jean Pierre Rueda, Felipe de la Rosa, Efren Castro, Tam Wing, and Hector, son of Hector. If I mention your name, please get ready to share. Let me just do the ground rules. Right now, everybody's on mute. Be ready to unmute yourself when your name is called, and please mute yourself again once you're done sharing. Open mic readers will have 3 minutes to share. Please be respectful of other readers' time. We have a mute button. We don't want to use it, but we will use it at our discretion. And finally, we will not tolerate any hate speech, no racism, sexism, homophobia, etc. So let's see. Is Jean-Pierre here?
Hi, it's Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for the opportunity for creating this space. Bandera media asta. El país se detiene en la misma esquina de siempre, entre la avenida de He Was Quiet and Kept to Himself y la calle de Guns Don't Kill People, People Kill People. Otra noche de vigilia en Estados Unidos, otra mañana de noticieros barriendo los hechos, otro presidente diciendo que es la última vez que pasa, otra masacre, otra ciudad. Mismo inocente, mismo culpable. La pandemia nos tapa la boca. La segunda enmienda nos tapa los ojos. Después de los balazos, la bandera media asta se agacha, con vergüenza, arrastrando sus colores, sus valores, su futuro. A su izquierda, ve los 411 heridos y 60 fallecidos en Las Vegas. A su derecha, se acuerda del cine en Aurora y los 12 caídos. Habla de patriotismo para borrarlo todo, pero aparecen las sábanas blancas de Columbine, creciendo como colinas de tragedia, adornando un valle de muerte, con las mismas balas usadas en Sandy Hook. Se tapa los oídos con los dedos del NRA, pero el eco de Virginia Tech, destrozándose 33 veces, lo empuja hasta caerse, al lado de los 23 del Walmart en El Paso. Las estrellas se desprenden de su piel con el peso de la sangre, y la bandera se revuelca en la violencia, hasta teñirse con la frialdad de la realidad, que esta sociedad valora más, el amor por las armas, que el amor por el prójimo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is Felipe de la Rosa here? What about Efren Castro? Okay, they probably signed up as an April Fool's joke. Tam, I don't think Tam's here either, unfortunately. Hector, son of Hector, I know you're.
Is that him or is that me? Did everyone freeze or did I freeze?
Hector, son of Hector.
Please,
yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm originally from Long Beach, but I live in Oakland right now on Ohlone land. So this is really excited. I'm really excited right now. Before the hills of San Francisco, I stand on a Mission Hospital rooftop watching smog centipede its way through the Los Angeles skyline, creeping at the feet of buildings and mountains. At 1 mile high, I see the luminescent waters of Mexica streets down in Tenochtitlan, the up-and-coming neighborhood. The rich once lived here, flattened it. The poor repurposed it, salted it. The capitalists now want it back. Everywhere, this film breathes every day, rewinding and playing a continuous loop. Conquest of barrios is nothing new. The land of the natives has always been better. Ask the priests about their missions. Ask the barber where Oakland gets its hair done. Why the locals haven't left yet. They tell you the East Bay gets more sun. East LA's got better food. Colonia Juarez has tortilleria, masa for the masses. Or is that a printing press? Food always tasted better on abuela's mesa. Mijo, come tortilla pa que te llenes. Ponle crema y sal. O sal y limón. Por lo menos sal. And I got one more. I can't find it, but Los Angeles en su voz. 1. Her father's mother brings him here, tears him from his pueblo in Michoacan. South LA raises him, teaches him English, introduces him to a Guatemalan woman. Their daughter becomes my wife. When I meet him, his breath smells of the smoke he inhaled during the fires, the burning building of his business. 2. She's got the eyes and cheekbones of Olmec stoneheads, daughter of Purepecha and Mayan kingdoms, lips like early morning flower petals, hands which never lose their warmth, skin that catches color from the sun. She lived her childhood between rows of cared-for lawns on single-family homes and blocks of dilapidated Section 8 apartments near the fires and gunshots, liquor stores and churches, the neighborhood never hers. Speech borrowed from migration patterns of the city, early Spanish settlers, ocho mulatos y 9 indios, black southerners, white Midwesterners, ESL Chicanos and Central Americans, their mano de obra oscillating through time. 3. She never reads Pynchon or Wanda Coleman to feel the riot. She just listens and watches housing prices rise, waiting for their fall. Thank you, everyone.
That was dope. That was dope. Let's see. Let me just name a couple of people that are going to go up next. Edgar Acosta, get ready. Josiah Luis Alderete, Mariana Franco, Joaquin Lizarraga. If you guys are here, please get ready. But next up is Edgar Acosta.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay? Okay. I wrote this like 3 days ago. A week ago, I talked to my mom and my brother, or my mom, and I found out somehow I didn't know, but her and my brother voted for Trump twice. And my mom's from Mexico. Anyway, I've processed it, but anyway, this is sort of in response to that. It's called What's Behind the Mask? What's behind the mask of two strangers passing on the street? How much true reality behind the thoughts? Both certain there are oppressors in life, rated as they are by the echoes bouncing off galvanized walls of separate silos. The enemy always unimagined the other. One says the culprit's capital, another says the state. Never a sister or brother by blood or circumstance. But how to solve the feeling of an ugly reveal at the dinner table. The moment when the walls of our chambers come down. Is love too nebulous a force to enter into this bleak equation? A question waiting for an action, if not quite yet an answer. Whether your hat is red, blue, or pinko, it's everybody's problem, Joe. I don't know where to start myself. I'm no expert, except maybe at saying hello. How are you? When I give my mom a call, or pass that other human on the street with a capital H. These words are a start, no matter the outcome, is uncertain. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Nice amoeba shirt, by the way. I know you could have been at the grand opening today, but you came to this instead. You're awesome. Okay. Next is Josiah Luis Alderete. You got the stage.
Hugo, mi gente, how y'all doing tonight? It's beautiful being here. I wish the series many more episodes in Zoomlandia or in the real world when this is all over with. All right. You're gonna have to get off me, Bolano. This cat thinks the whole thing's for him. So I'm gonna do a piece called Decolonize the Decolonization. Because a lot of time, that's what we need to do, mi gente. We gotta take a second look at some of these decolonized ideas, you know? Who's really behind the Virgen? Who's really behind that translation of In La Cash? Huh? All right. Decolonize the decolonizations. You can argue with the ancestors, mi gente. You can argue with the huesos. You can accuse the timeline of being crooked. You can deny what the plastic pinche conquistadors say happened. You can exist at this exact momento and not believe que somos hijos en hijas de la chingada. You can reach back into time and give your tata, abuela, a cohete, and a bandolera of Santísima balas. You can heal from the diseases that killed you. You can dig yourself away from the burial. You can swim back to the ocean where your antepasados saw the reflections in the agua and it was you. You can rust North American clocks and timelines. You can ignore the lifetime that they gave you. You can build a casa with a cenote in the basement. You can dream sweet dreams, regardless whether the white face behind the candela is there or not. You can remember cuando the raíces of your familia tried to strangle you. You can ask for the sacrifices back. You can turn Juan Diego's Dilma into a black light poster, man. It's cool. You can't ask them to take their blue-eyed chicken feet diablos with them when they go. You can dream azul desierto dreams con chapulines that hop over la muda and take the children with them. You can ask El Campo Santo for a Cempasúchil day pass. You can ask La Llorona por qué lloras and already know the answer. You can walk through a puerta to el otro lado and leave it wide open for the next brown body behind you. You can keep leaving phone messages on Jose Arguello's message machine, even though he's been dead for years now, and keep complaining to him about how he fucked up the Hunab coup, mistranslating the mistranslations and leaving us with generations of yoga back tattoos and chipster armbands to stare away from. You can call the revolutionaries murderers. You can ask for the footprints to speak up. You can ask for their history to tell us the truth. You can ask Tonatzin what snake she's hiding behind the flores. She's hiding behind the snake she's hiding. You can give La Tierra back to La Tierra. You can speak a language that you've forgotten. You can ask the cicatrices on your familias to tell you what they really saw. You can be a Pocho Jacob and wrestle them Catholic angels and win. You can starve the ghosts of the dogs that ate your relations and feel some satisfaction. You can forgive the roses for being in on it. You can neuter their spirit animals and still be an animal lover. Here's the proof right here. You can have faith in the resurrection of Oscar Zeta Acosta. You can see her jade skirt and the profundidad of the night sky at the same time. You can reconsider El Plan de San Diego. You can ask the Santos to show you documentation of their milagros. You can hope our sangre will have a better time after we're gone. You can believe in Aslan and still think that the Águila and the Nopal gave us shitty directions. And we didn't wake up the gato. That ain't bad, y'all. That ain't bad. Mi gente, real quick, if I could say one thing, I'm blessed to run a reading series in the East Bay. We used to do it in Oakland in the real world called Speaking Asholo. It's been going on for 3 years now. Every month is Black and Brown poets featured, and there's an open mic. If you can, come through, and por favorcito, it's such a beautiful crowd here, and come sit in ceremony with us as well. It's the third Thursday of every month. The next one is happening on the 15th. The features are Amanda Muniz and Hector Castaneda. So por favorcito, come by, and blessings to this new series. Future Now is Future Now, man.
Thank you, Josiah. And yeah, definitely want to encourage you guys to check out Speaking Axolot. I went to his open mic, what was it, maybe like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And I was just amazed because he was hosting and he had that cat on his lap the whole time. And true story, afterwards, I've been trying to get Viva to buy me like a really big iguana so I can put it on my lap so we could like one up you, but it's not, I don't, so far it hasn't happened. Maybe I can talk her into it for like next month or something. But let me see who's next is, well, I'm gonna say a couple of names. Get ready if I mention your name. Leslie Ortega, Jonathan Gomez, Joaquin Lizarraga, Mariana Franco. Actually, is Mariana Franco here? No. April Fools, okay. Joaquin Lizarraga. No. Okay. Leslie Ortega, are you here? Wow, everybody's pranking me. Let's see. Jonathan Gomez. Is
Right
Jonathan
on.
Gomez here? Oh, there you are.
All right.
Stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Everyone, I'm from, well, born and raised in the Barrio City Terrace in East LA, living in San Jose right now. And the piece I'm gonna start with is 4th of July in City Terrace. At Herbert Circle, the view reaches from the east side to San Pedro, from the Chicano Alps to shores of the North Pacific. People hurry here from carne asada and weenie grills to huddle in the middle of the street, to seize from the holiday a way of seeing themselves in their own light. In anticipation for darkness to come rushing, for the show to begin, I was early to stand among the crowd. Following the first explosion from an artillery shell, others take flight. In an instant, night is set on fire. Forbidden fireworks become sight. Ground shakes. Bright boom, awe inhabits space. After just a moment, the wind carries pungent scents of sulfur to every hillside and hole. The barrio flexes its muscle. Youths assemble demonstrations, a competition for best in show with a combined sense of mischief and pride. Parents gleam. Children cheer from deep in the chest. And abuelas caution missing fingers, encouraging grandchildren to run away from a hissing fuse. Roman candles, piccolo peats, butterflies, buzz grenades, firecrackers, cherry bombs, M80s, sticks of dynamite. Rockets rage. Night sky filled with deafening thunder and hues of red, purple, and green, blinding light. Screeches, smoke, shots, screams. Not from cops, not because of ICE, not tonight, not on the 4th of July in City Terrace. Following the show, we applaud the effort with full expression. Some people whistle. Others watch smoke figures retreat into the clouds, etching shapes of light and memory, storing sounds of pride for other times. Kids promise parents to take part next year. Elders slowly retreat, looking over their shoulder for one last blast. And I, peering over the city from an ancient hillside, wish for an encore. Silence ensues. The east side is now, for a moment, all calm. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, man. That was awesome. I love how all these neighborhoods are coming together on Zoom. Let me, I'll give a couple of names. If I mention your name, get ready because I'm about to call on you. Elizabeth Jimenez Montelongo, Lisbeth Koyman, Joanna Alcantar, Paul Edward Costa. Those are the next people in line. Elizabeth Jimenez, are you in the house?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Take the stage.
Thank you. Yeah, Jonathan was just switching out our names here. That's fine. Hi everybody. So I'm Elizabeth Jimenez Montelongo, and I'm going to read Human Sacrifice in 2020. Let me tell you about human sacrifice. It rarely happens at the top of a pyramid. Those incidents are rare. Let me tell you about human sacrifice. It isn't as dramatic as movies make it out to be. Human sacrifice doesn't rip out human hearts, but those who are paid to rip out animal hearts and pack flesh for human consumption are often packed flesh, sharing unventilated factory space, like the animals living a life of death in neat rows before their slaughter. The workers are packed in, sharing that deadly virus for less than $15 per hour. So a chicken sells for less than $15. Sacrifice. They are sacrificed so others can eat burgers and steak snugly in their homes, while those who pack the meat sleep snugly. Sacrifice victims. Human sacrifice doesn't need a sharp obsidian knife. Sometimes the wound is self-inflicted from working long hours by choice, a choice between starvation and working to death. Sacrifice victims. Human sacrifice is a sharp knife digging into a single mother working long hours to pay the rent and pick up a food box. Her work becoming wealth for those with a sharp flint on their foreheads, because a flint in the head is valued higher than 2 flints in the hand. Labor and sweat, tears and death, a sacrifice victim. Human sacrifices don't need blood streaming down the sides of a pyramid. Usually the blood stays in the body very neatly, heart stopped passively. They leave the heart, they eat the spirit, the energy, the creation. Cannibals eating soul, a sacrifice. Human sacrifices are voluntary. Take the land, demand degrees, threaten with hunger, dangle $1, summon the landless, leave them degreeless. When the hunger comes, victims line up for the $1. Victims line up for sacrifice. What they leave behind is stuff and wealth for the boss, dust and tears for the children, sacrifices. I have to tell you, someone always benefits, and that person already has benefits. I have to tell you, there aren't always witnesses, but the sacrifices happen in public. I have to tell you, historians don't record the bodies, they record the GDP. Did you know it's an honor to be an essential worker? Did you know the wealthy and powerful forgo this grand honor? A sacrifice. Human sacrifices are essential, and essential workers are sacrificed. Essential beings are the moving parts of a big machine of creation and progress and wealth, disposable parts, essential workers thanked and discarded, sacrificed and replaced. What an honor. Our thoughts are with the family. Our thoughts are with our quarterly profits and on to dinner with our own family. Lies dripping from ink, ink dripping from lips, lips dripping from faces, unmasked faces, masking everything. Faces without souls. Soul is earned from the sun, S-U-N, the sun that rises. Rises. We knew for 13,000 years it doesn't rise. Soul is earned by the sun, S-O-N, the sun that rises and will continue to rise. Soul is earned by the daughter that rose and rose and rose and rose. Roses for the dead, roses for the sacrificed, roses for the victims of freedom, roses for the freedom protectors, sold false parts in the show, roses for the water protectors that won even when it didn't show, roses for the sacrificed to America first, roses for children killed in bombings, roses for mothers killed in raids, roses for fathers killed in combat, roses for essential workers, roses for the dead, human sacrifices. sacrificed in a sea of pendejadas, in waves of mentiras, in a lluvia de babosadas. Murderers. Murderers build pyramids, a tower of Baba, a fetish of hierarchy, a false idol. On that foundation of sand, crown it with stolen gold, guard it on unceded land. As domestic terrorism gets overlooked as much as international terrorism gets overlooked. We only look when it has a brown face and fights for an idea that doesn't benefit a not brown face. Build it there, overlooking injustice, overlooking abuse, overlooking fate, overlooking blind eyes wide open, until it hits home, until the earth shifts under our feet, until the underworld nips our toes, until it all comes crumbling down. Thank you for listening.
Gracias, Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. That was awesome. Next, we have Lisbeth. Lisbeth Koyman. I know you're here. There you are. It's good seeing you.
Seeing you too. I'm going to read the title poem of my upcoming collection, Uprising Alzamientos. And this is it's a definition poem and tries to create a difference between what it is uprising and what it is to give a coup d'etat. So this is what uprising looks like. Uprising, noun, a revolt, an insurrection, verb, to stand up and rise, to rise into view. 1. A human river floods Avenida Libertadora and Avenida Bolívar. Pubescent bodies shake behind makeshift shields and masks fashioned from plastic bottles and rags. A violinist and a ballerina perform in front of the armored vehicle. After the musician is captured, his face is rendered unrecognizable. A young woman offers a flower to the line of riot police while the stolid abuela stands in the way of a moving tank. 2. Emaciated souls march single file through the Andes, border crossing rivers swelling with dissent and desertion. 3. On an improvised stage, an unquavering young man swears to protect the Constitution. Hope stands up defiant and takes the oath in front of his peers. Voices rise to describe dystopia in 100-second languages. Keyboard warriors tweet the sorrow of a woman carrying the limp body of her teenage daughter. Bloggers comment on the seniors lining up for a ration of rice with added bugs for protein. Journalists report on nocturnal dances around currency bonfires. A rezandera wrestles with the oxymoron of an oil-rich country without gasoline. Spring meets the silhouette of 2 young men. Courage is marked by chain bracelets around their wrists. Eyes hold the images of darkness, torture, and isolation. 4. Eyes retreat to see the bright future of a nation slowly climbing the upward slope of freedom. Thank you. If I still have time, I'll read a shorter one. Yes? If losing people during COVID has been difficult for many, losing people over COVID, when you have your entire life in another world, thousands of miles away, it turns into a whole different dimension. Immigration status, grieving. Humanity lost in the dossier documents of birth, applications and fees, pero sin papeles para el luto. Without the therapy of a funeral, no 6 feet deep burials, dressed in black, next to a casket, mourning forever, grieving in the distance. No visas for grieving. Thank you for listening. Thank you for offering me your space.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a few more names on this list. Let me call out the next 4 names that I have on the list. I'm not sure everybody's here, but if you are here, just get ready. Giovanna Alcantar, Paul Edward Costa, Jackie Linares, Samantha Varela. Okay, is Giovanna here? Giovanna Alcantar. No. Okay, what about Paul Edward Costa? No. Okay then, Jackie, I think I saw you earlier.
Yeah, hello everybody, I'm here. Thank you for giving us this space to share. I'm gonna read a poem called Central American Day of the Dead. At work, Jimena told us how she bought a hole in the earth her body is to be buried in when she's much older, hopefully, next to her mother and her father. She told us how it's in the same cemetery as a famous Mexican singer I didn't grow up listening to, and Elena mentioned Dia de los Muertos and the joy of meeting a celebrity in death on the first 2 nights of November. They laugh and cluck like farm hens, and my Guatemalan bones hum quietly as I wonder what it is like to have your last name grow roots in long, bright vines, to nurture large, dark grapes that might make wine, that might make raisins, to have a cluster of flowers to call your own garden in Eden. Elena and Jimena, well-intentioned, asked me if I celebrate Dia de los Muertos, and I think of my cousin who died when she was 15, choking on fluid her body made, and how I ran my 11-year-old hand on her cold one. And it was true, the literature was correct. She was stone cold dead, and how my mother smacked me like a green snake ready to strike, even when in neck-deep grief over the death of the being who had first given her the holy role of tia. But how do I tell their beautiful Mexican Salma Penelope-looking faces that this is my only deceased loved one in the United States? And when she died, my aunt kept the urn on top of the TV for a decade. She dusted a jar that kept human dust inside with a crisp paper towel. She arranged 15 pink roses on her dead daughter's birthday in the vase next to the urn, while my living cousin and I watched Lizzie McGuire sucking on the red powder of Cheetos, eating orange slices in that summer. How it was only until my living cousin studied the science of grief at the State University on the Mexican border that she told her mother, it's time. And that while my friends from college were taking pictures on Instagram in the poppy fields of the Antelope Valley, my aunt was emptying the urn that had been on top of the TV for a decade, letting the gray dust that had given her the holy role of mama rest among the orange blossoms of California soil, the only one of us to ever do so. How do I tell my Mexican coworkers we don't celebrate Dia de los Muertos because my family has no graves, no ghosts in America to break bread with? They all rest in the land of eternal spring in Guatemala, which is Mayan for many trees. What, are all of them supposed to cross a border twice, the Mexican one and the American one, just to break bread with my brother and me on the first 2 nights of November? Instead, I tell them, haha, I don't believe in that stuff. And I smile at them uncomfortably. I get up to go to the water cooler when they ask me to get a picture of the deceased loved one for the altar. And when I do bring a picture, it's a picture of Jonathan Gold because he was talking about my grandmother and my mother and my aunt in the 1992 essay on the LA riots that said, Guatemalan women walk home from Ralph's with bags of groceries balanced expertly on their heads. He saw them, and that's enough for me. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. That was fucking awesome. Extra points for mentioning Jonathan Gold. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me see. Do we have Samantha Varela here today with us? She might have left to Amoeba. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, I want Brian Dunlap and Matt Cedillo to get ready to share with us. And while they're getting ready, we're going to allow a couple more people to sign up to the open mic, just a couple more. So if you're interested, send a private message to Viva Padilla, and we're going to try and get to you. Okay. But now, for now, Brian, take it away.
Okay. So thank you for hosting this space, and I appreciate it. And as soon as I saw Dryland was doing an open mic, I knew I had to come and check it out and see everyone who I feel like maybe I dreamed meeting them and knowing them sometime way in the past. But now I can finally getting back into, this is my first time reading since the pandemic started, so I'm getting back into that. And I have this poem, my award-winning poem that Luis Rodriguez judged, that's about the Japanese American community in LA, and I felt like this is a really good time to read that and about their history and show solidarity with all that's happening to Asian Americans in this country, and kind of go deeper than any of the stereotypes of how people are seeing them today with all the violence. So it's called those who come before us. On Sawtell, I hear Japanese flowing between the laughter of young friends. One wears a UCLA sweatshirt. In Little Osaka, in West Los Angeles, taiko drums boom through the parking lot to the West Los Angeles Buddhist Temple. July, Obon, sending a message of thanksgiving to all who have gone before us. Of immigrants from Wakayama who created a Japanese fishing village on Terminal Island, gone over 40 years by the time I was born in '84. Working class families, fishermen, speaking in their own lingo. Rapid, rough fishermen's talk blended with Japanese and English. Nisi children attending Japanese language school after a day of learning English at their public school, before Executive Order 9066 sent them to internment camps. Internment camps set up for people who only wanted to build community. Since the late 1930s, Japanese basketball leagues populate the Southern California landscape, where a few of my friends and peers, where Claude Kimura, as we graduated from one LAUSD grade to the next, can come together as a Japanese community, where basketball exists as one of the few places for Japanese American youth to hang out with other young Japanese Americans, where, at game's end, heads high, breaths heavy, they shake hands with their opponents, sweat dripping from their faces, inhabiting gammon. Some parents bringing game snacks of rice balls or noodles. And on Sawtell, I pass Hashimoto's and Tabuchi's nurseries, smell the richness of wet dirt, see the splash of fuchsias, tiny trumpet-shaped magenta flowers, reminders of when, in the 1930s and 40s, Japanese farmed flowers and strawberries here. Now, in the early morning, as Angelinos still sleep, Claude Kimura, UCLA grad, grabs his surfboard, jumps in his car, ready to tear up the Southern California waves. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. And next, Next, we have Matt Tadillo.
Hey, thanks for having me. So, it's really good to see Elizabeth and Jonathan and Hector and Josiah. Really good to see a lot of people from Northern California coming here today. So it's really cool, bridging, and all the other familiar faces from SoCal. So that's really cool. Really good event. Congratulations. So I'm gonna do a quick poem. Guess one kind of signature pieces, I suppose. So here we go. Some are born in summer homes and palatial groves, where pain was only to ever unfold from the pages of secret gardens the red fern grows, but not I. See, I come from the stock of star-eyed astronauts who greet the night sky with big dreams and wide eyes, always running down the devil's highway through occupied America, on the way back to house on Mango Street, and all of the books you don't want us to read. Raised on handball off the back wall of a panaderia born east of the river, post Mendez versus Westminster, one generation with red lines and diplomas that were signed with those dreams and that skin need not apply. See, I come from struggle. And if my story offends you, as long as you made the mistake of seeking your reflection in my self-portrait, see this, what's meant to be about you? Because someone born in the Common Core, whose reflected faces grace the pages of doctrines discovered an age to be explored. World hardships crashed against new shores, New England, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York. For others, pushed off Turtle Island. Aslan, do not call this brown-skinned immigrant. Child of the sun, son of the conquest, Mexicano blood, running through the veins east side of Los Angeles. Do not tell him it with native tongue a song will best be sung. Do not tell me who I am, because I was raised like you. Miseducated in some of those very same schools off lessons and legends of honest Indians and Christian pilgrims and a nation of immigrants all united in freedom. This until he pulled aside my white friend, pointed directly at me and said, Scott, I judge you by the company you keep and you spend your time with this. The same old story, it's 1846. The adventure of Uncle Sam, the stick-up man, a wetback. Show me your papers, now give me your labor, the melting pot was never made for the hands to clean it. The American dream has always come at the expense of those who tucked it in. You don't know that, so you don't teach it. Could write you a book, but you won't read it, so you know what this is about you. In 1492, in the Treaty of Guadalupe, in California missions and Arizona schools, these racists that try to race us as these are kids in cities that bear our names, but you can learn some today, from Ferdinand to Minuteman, from Arpaio to Alamo, from Bobo Voodoo. So like in the Indian that lives in me from 1843, try to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds, Canadian minds, Leo strike the plan de Allah, Rizapata, Joaquin Murrieta, Las Adelitas, Brown Berezi, Zapatistas, Richard Nixon, through Napoleon, from Peckinpah to Houston, from Mozart Republic to Christopher Columbus, all the way down to Donald fucking Trump. We didn't cross the borders crossed us. Who are you calling immigrant, pilgrim? This and other poems can be found in Mowing Leaves of Grass.
Thanks, Matt. That was great, like always. Mowing Leaves of Grass. By the way, there's an interview with Matt Tadillo in the latest issue of Dryland. And let's see, we have our last official open micer, James Coates. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. So I want to read a poem from, title poem from my manuscript. The title is Midnight and Mad Dreams, and it's written as a golden shovel. And so the quote is, to be Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a rage almost all the time. By James Baldwin. I don't believe we'll see justice for Breonna, not like we are supposed to. The standards of basic human dignity ghosted us. That's also what it means to be Black, that no matter how respectable you are, the cops still only see a Negro. How can you combat a history at the back of people's minds when it attacks in the present. All this effort is only treating the symptoms, not the disease. This experience is not imagined. It is as real as the deaths in this country, as real as the gunpowder that fired those bullets in 1861 and the hateful fingers that continue to pull triggers in 2021. Our solution to this madness has to be just as illogical as the ideology fueling it. We need to be calculated in our response, for all the progress made has been relatively slow considering how many people claim they are woke, yet their conscience seems to still be sleeping on the job. And isn't this a job? It is. Every day we wake up, get dressed, and go to work at fighting racism. To what extent have we been successful at delivering accountability, be it some kind of penance for the constant problematic behavior in this land of the free? Free for who? Not me. Not people that look like me. A truth is still a truth, even if most believe the lie. What emotion other than rage could describe the searing flame that burns in our eye sockets? It takes almost all the willpower in us to not want the world to cry tears too, in hopes all that water could put out the blaze and wash away the corrosive acid eating us. The crazy part, though, is we still show up, dreaming of witnessing change every time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just read something real quick before Viva announces the winner of the raffle and we finish up here. I just want to read something real quick from Dryland. This is a short little poem. It's my favorite poem that's published in here. It's by this dude over in West Virginia. This is called To Eat the Fruit, Climb the Tree. Of course, I want to sit with you, to float weightless on your breath above the bluebell and the white horn at the east end of the orchard. Of course, I want to rest. I want to sleep, but listen, we cannot let the landlords live. Thanks. Okay, you know what? I was thinking of something. I'm gonna save it until the end. Viva, who won?
Nikolai has surprises for us at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna do the wheel of, I don't know if you guys could see it. Let me see. Can you guys see that? Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
The winner is Rose A. Okay. It was like right in the middle of those two names. Okay, let me stop sharing this. Okay, so Rose, is Rose still here? Okay, awesome. So yeah, just send me your address. Hopefully you're in the United States, because I can't afford it if it's outside of the United States. But yeah, cool. Okay, so back to Nick.
Yeah, no, not a surprise. I mean, I just wanted to mention first the next event is going to be May 6th. May 6th is doing the first Thursday of the month. So Thursday, May 6th is going to be the next Future Now. Thank you all for coming. Tell your friends. As soon as we post up the information on our website, make sure you sign up for the open mic. Let everybody know. Let everybody know how awesome it was. I really loved it. The fucking Dodgers lost today, but this was a fucking awesome open mic, so I feel like I won. And I just want to, the thing I was just saving for last is for you guys to all just unmute yourself and just clap for everybody, for yourselves, the featured readers. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's
Make
up?
some noise.
Thank you guys for coming. You guys made this a success. This was awesome. If you guys want to hang out and like for the next 10 minutes or so till 9, I'm gonna be here. Hopefully Nick wants to kick it. Ivan, we'll be here. So if you guys have any questions about anything, yeah, we're gonna be here chilling. And also, there are a couple people here that I was just like, wow, you need to share some work with Dryland. So we hope that you are encouraged to, you know, give it a shot and hopefully get published in the next issue. So the next one's coming out in September, so watch out for that.
Also, donate to Dryland so we can buy an iguana.
What are you gonna name it?
It already has a poem. If you scroll through the chat, it has so many lines they wanted that you can already make a poem about it. So the iguana poem got there before the poem.
You should name it Marijuana.
Marijuana, I like it.
I
like it.
Middle initial. No. Mar, middle initial, I, second name, Juana. Marijuana.
All I want is marijuana. I like it.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah, thank you.
It was so good to meet you guys. I hope that we get to like actually see each other in real life.
I know, in the world. Remember the world?
I remember it, kind of.
I don't know her.
Same.
It was so long ago.
Yes.
Is that a cumbia?
I hear cumbias coming from somewhere.
Crank it.
Turn it up.
There you go.
Thank you guys for showing up.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
I have a question about submission.
Later, Josiah. Oh, you're gonna hang out?
I was gonna hang out for a minute.
Yeah, hang out.
I'll hang out.
Did somebody say they had a question?
Yeah, I have a question about submission.
Sure, go ahead.
The hombre lobo has to be, it has to be like monsters, or it can be just a creepy story, horror story.
So the Hombre Lobo series is all real, true stories. So it can't be made up. So if you had like a creepy experience, then we'll publish it. So it can be about anything. If you, yeah.
Also, let me just say this: not all hombre lobos are monsters. Perfectly sweet hombre lobo.
They're gentlemen. Yeah, gentlemen.
Point taken. Point taken.
Yeah.
Point taken.
We good. We good. Things have been good since I stopped taking my anti-lycanthropy medication. Feel so good these days.
Yeah, Lisbeth. So the next one is gonna come out next month, and then the third one is gonna come out until the fall. So you have some time to write it out.
No, I think I submitted once, but I don't know. I don't remember it. I think I submitted for the last one. Was a creepy
Okay.
story.
Yeah, you should have gotten some kind of response. We'll check on that.
No, but now that you say that you take true stories, hombre lobos, true stories. So I have a creepy story.
Yeah.
I have a creepy story that it's going on. It's
Good to
actually
see you.
on a known basis.
Ya te
Okay.
vas? Oh, sorry, I'm talking to my other friend who was waving by.
Bye, Aruni. Bye,
¿Qué te vas a dar,
guys.
Ali?
Estaba emocionada por la historia de la muchacha,
Oh.
del hombre lobo real.
So Viva and Nikolai, I think, have you guys ever been to the vivarium over here?
To the what?
To the vivarium over in the Bay Area, like over here in Berkeley?
Bavarian? No.
Yeah, it's like a crazy what the, maybe I'm thinking the wrong. It's like this gigantic place in Berkeley, like in some funky location, but it's like this huge warehouse of like lagartos and iguanas and crazy like other weird critters, and probably get you.
No. We're gonna have to go, dude. We're gonna have to go back to the Bay because when we went, it was just not enough time. Like we need to spend more time in the Bay.
Yeah. Come back to the Bay, get an iguana.
Yeah.
It'll be worth the trip. It'll be worth the trip.
We're doing it.
I mean, we could, not to encourage this kind of behavior, but I had a friend who used to go to this place and he'd stick the lizards in his pocket and walk out. I mean, if we're really strapped for cash, you just bring a big coat and, make a small donation, put the iguana in the coat, and
Free some iguanas.
give them a better life.
You know what you should do is you get a coat, like a trench coat, and fake arms. The fake arms are on the side, and your real arms are inside the coat, and you like that. Gets them every time. Every time.
Why would you put your real arms away? Shouldn't you?
Hold on to the iguana.
No, see.
Oh, okay.
Are hanging by the side, and your real arms are inside the coat, and then you take, what you need.
I've never seen such a coat.
Well, no. I'm sure you've seen someone. I'm sure you've been around someone doing. You didn't see it though, because that's why how effective the technique is.
That's a paranoid thought. There have been moments you're just walking around and some dude without.
Everyone has these coats. I didn't know about these coats.
Work.
It'll be fine.
I'm already buzzed, guys. I had some of this.
Bye bye.
Sí, señora Lisbeth, Miss Lisbeth.
Ajá, dígame.
Ah,
No me llame señora, por
oh,
favor.
¿cómo le digo, pues?
El pelo blanco es para mostrar experiencia.
Es que uno que nos enseñan como para respetar a las personas, pues con respeto, Reina y Lisbeth. ¿De qué país es su historia?
Soy venezolana.
Oh, ok. Interesante. Me agradó mucho su historia.
Gracias. My upcoming poetry collection is dedicated to the struggle for democracy in my homeland, and it's also a homage to all those who are fighting for freedom on the streets of Venezuela. So that's what's coming.
Gracias, muchas gracias, se lo agradezco.
Thank you. Thank you for your interest. Ok, ya me pusieron vieja. Ya me voy. Ya me pusieron. No me han visto con los tacones así y las faldas chiquititas bailando en los bares. Aquí ya me llamaron gay. Ok. Chao.
We were still live on Facebook.
Nice.
Everybody's watching this. I'm going to stop it on Facebook.
Wait, is that a can of wine? You had a can, Viva? What was that?
It's a gas can of vodka.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Nap. Yeah. Okay.
I have nothing else in the house, so I was like,
I thought you were drinking wine okay.
I put it in this thing so it could look like I was, keeping it under control. Pero it was a bit of it. A ver, I'm gonna stop it on Facebook. Let me figure this out. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Just let it roll.
Let them see the desmadre.
Is Mauricio there? Mauricio, is he just
I'm here.
lurking?
Hey.
Here.
I was surprised that you didn't sign up to read.
Yeah.
I was just vibing today, but I wanted to bask in the glory. Kind of, put myself in the audience today. Some really awesome poets tonight.
It was a beautiful turnout of gente you all got, for real.
Yeah.
I love how the neighborhoods were rep too.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't know what to expect, We were just like, let's just do it, a ver qué pasa. And it was just really nice to see a lot of new faces, a lot of new people I've never met. Hector, son of Hector, you were dope. I saw you at Josea's open mic.
Yeah, that's my home base.
So you're in the Bay too?
Yeah, I'm in Oakland. But I'm from Long Beach and my wife is from South LA.
Oh, cool. She lives, she grew up in South Central, or she was born and raised?
Yeah, 92nd in Normandy.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, she's like she grew up like deep South.
Yeah.
Hector's got a book out. He makes it. Hector, tell him about
you
your
got
book.
a book out. No, you got a book. You got a book coming out. Like it's actually published.
No, but Hector makes his fucking books. He makes these beautiful libros, and they got all his poetry in it. And he literally, like, with a little the elo and stuff, he does.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And what's even crazier, he don't charge people money for them. He just sends them to them if you want it.
Free books.
That's the whole thing. That's Hector, son of Hector.
I was gonna say though, I'm glad you guys are doing this, and I hope that there's a way that this can transition to in person, because that would be dope, and also to sort of make a space in South Central, because I know that things are also changing down there. So it's good to carve out a space.
It's kind of a dream of mine and well, Nikolai's too, to have a space in South Central. It is pretty tough to get just a space in LA, but we are hoping to open up a space in Boyle Heights in May. So when you guys come to LA, you and Josea, you guys are totally welcome to have readings at the new space, and like, we can definitely like collaborate, that'd be dope.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be opening in May. I didn't want to make an official announcement because I don't have the keys in my hand yet. But when I do, I'll make an official announcement at the next open mic or something. And Josea's already signed up to come to LA in May. So hopefully that'll be good.
A 3-day Los Angeles tour.
I'm actually really happy to hear
Chicano
that.
marathon tour.
The Pocho and the Gato.
Yeah, good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear. I'm happy. Cool. Thanks for this. This was awesome. I'll be back next month.
Cool.
Josiah, I'll see you soon, I think.
Soon, hermano, very soon. We're doing a reading. We're actually doing a live reading tomorrow in Kerouac Alley at the bookstore.
Oh, that's cool, man. I work tomorrow.
You shoot, okay.
But
it'll be on.
Every time you have something, I'm working.
I know. It's all right. We're slowly starting to transition.
That's good, man.
Need more.
I'm happy to hear that. Have a good night, everyone.
Nice
Pleasure to
meeting
meet
you.
everyone.
Bye, adios.
Oigan, pues mi chela ya se acabó, so I'm gonna get another one. So I'm actually gonna go to the store.